What is it that makes this story, I guess, so important at this point to people?
Well, I think, Mika, look, he is, Matt Gaetz is a rising star in Congress in the context of the Trump era. I'm saying within the Republican Party, of the bright young things who showed up literally in Trump's election, validated by Donald Trump, lifted up by Donald Trump. He returned the favor. Donald Trump and he were in a symbiotic relationship, and so he became more than just your average one of 435 members of the House. He became a guy with an outsized presence in right-wing media and to some extent in mainstream media. He would not really turn down any television interview requests. He made himself ubiquitous. He was very loud. He was very brash. He understood how to play in the Trump era when volume and shamelessness and garishness were the kind of badges of honor and the things that attracted media attention. Matt Gaetz was the perfect flower of that moment. And so now, of course, we are now learning that this Florida bro, basically, turns out who was running around with an indicted sex trafficker and has been walking around apparently showing his best pictures off his phone to his friends on the House floor of his sexual, I don't even want to call them conquests, because if you're paying for them, they're not conquests, right? So it turns out that the guy is by every indication, what we're hearing now, he's skeevy. And I would say, what the dynamic here is, and this gets to Claire's point, I don't actually think it matters. I think it matters whether there's a federal charge here. If there's a sex trafficking charge here, that matters. It matters if there's a state charge. Those are legal things, right? But I think regardless of whether charges are brought now, the floodgates are now open. And on a political level, a lot of members of Congress in the Republican Party who, even if they have sidled up to Trump, even if they have accepted Donald Trump, even if they got down, they got in bed with the fleas of Donald Trump, they have looked at people like Matt Gaetz and said, man, this is a stinky pile that we're stuck with here. This is an opportunity for Republicans, I think, right now, in a totally self-interested way, to be like, let's get away from that. Let's take some kind of a purely cynical, public relations driven approach, which is like, let's get on our high horse. They have no moral standing to take this position, by the way. But to throw Matt Gaetz over the side will make them feel better, and they think give them some kind of credibility for having walked away from someone who is clearly, like I said, at this point, I think terminally toxic.